Holy crap, guys, we actually got this game underway. It's going to be Join the League season number 3, European Division 1, but these are actually tiebreakers, just to see who actually gets into the playoffs. I do believe it's a three-way tiebreaker with two teams advancing to the playoffs. Maybe even one team, actually. I have to check it out later on. But in any case, we're HeflaTV, I'm Coucher, and I am joined by Benji today. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good as we've finally got that 44-minute delay out of the way as, you know, both these two teams are actually playing another tournament at the moment, but we're finally here with this best of one in this jDL tiebreaker like what you said. And I did actually have a look during that huge downtime, and it is actually a three-way tiebreaker for that fourth position. We've got Power Rangers who are going to be first with 15 wins, 3 losses. Screen Squad, the Hon team basically, with 14 wins, 4 losses. And X Game KZ, who are also confirmed to be in that third place. So you've got Mai and Santi, HEHE United, and Team Coast all looking for that last final spot.
Well, it should be fun. I mean, all of those are best of ones. So, I mean, only one team can stay. Who it's gonna be, we don't know yet. And this is actually only the first of the tiebreakers anyway. The others aren't scheduled yet because, well, teams in Dota, they just have so many tournaments to play in.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome Dota going on right now. We kind of had a small break with the international going on and a little bit after that, but now we're kind of getting back into the swing of things with a lot of awesome Dota going on right now, as we are going to see a Scarlet Mage IO getting picked up. The Wisp, not quite as popular as it used to be, but still, you know, combos with a lot of things.
Yeah, he actually run it almost every time they get their hands on it, to be honest. And they've even, the last 2 times I actually saw them, they ran a mid lane IO solo. And it actually completely wrecked, so I'm hoping for something along the same lines this time around as well. Of course, even in a support role with the correct partners, it can be extremely strong. The bans have been rather standard apart from, I guess, the Treant Protector from Coast. They themselves have themselves a Brewmaster and Razor, so in a sense, HEHE starts with 2 supports, whereas Coast starts with 2 cores.
Now, it is interesting to note that for all these 3 teams who are going to be in these playoffs, the only team who actually won their match, because all the rest were ties, was the Team Coast versus HEHE, where Team Coast ended up winning 2-0. So, you know, as in right now, probably expect Team Coast to do pretty well, but at the same time, Coast have been a little bit shaky in terms of their performance. They've been losing against teams which you wouldn't really expect them to do so, especially Power Rangers in particular.
Yeah, at the moment, Coast as well. They're actually running with 2 stand-ins, Hanscan and Sealkid, or at least I haven't seen them before in the Coast lineup. And since, well, they don't have the proper tag, I'm guessing they haven't been there before either, so that of course also is something that might hinder them a little bit. But in any case, the Tidehunter was the 4th ban so far for HEHE, and they have to start just showing us their hand a little bit, just start picking up the cores.
Yeah, you've got those 2 supports, unless they want to pick up a Scarlet Mage mid, you know. A Scarlet Mage mid at this point is not a terrible pickup, as you've got that Brewmaster, and Scarlet Mage, you know, he does pretty handedly beat Brewmaster just because of his Arcane Bolt. He doesn't care about evasion with that.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility for them, and like I already mentioned previous as well, HEHE are a team that actually aren't afraid to run IO mid lane as well, so I guess it's always nice to have that flexibility, but the Centaur is the pick for them, so just an all in all solid offlaner.
Yeah, Centaur is, if you don't have a Tide, then if you look at that second initiator, then Centaur is actually one of the more popular go-to heroes. Only slightly being ahead of Batrider in that sense, but at the same time, you know, his ultimate basically means that even without his Blink Dagger, he can jump in, snatch someone out, and even help the rest of his team and get their individual pickoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Stampede is always a nice way to kite around, especially actually now that Shadow Demon is picked up. Against the Demonic Purge, you just use the Stampede and they should get at least far enough before the Demonic Purge slow kicks in once again. And even just getting away from a Razor, for example, getting away from a Static Link or something like that can be useful. But Shadow Demon pick, so Coast, do you think we'll also see Demirana to partner it up with?
Well, there's a lot of different things, as in the Shadow Demon, he basically combos with anything that effectively has a hard-to-hit stun. As in, to some extent, he does combo with the Razor, as he can disrupt a target, and he still keeps draining that damage, as we actually see the Mirana getting picked up on the opposite side.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of a block pick at the moment. But of course, Mirana is always a good hero to have, just the Moonlight Shadow forcing the enemy into early detection, but Coast, they go for Nature's Prophet, so At the moment, it's either Nature Prophet safe lane with actually Razor Shadow Demon +1 in an aggressive tri lane, which could be extremely strong, especially considering that his own tri lane. At least if it's like Io, Skyref, Mirana, or maybe one of those is swapped out, but in any case, it's not the strongest one.
No, as in, I will say probably I would say that, like we said, the combo with the IO, they could still pick up another one, go for possibly, Centaur Warrior on the off lane, have the Scarith Mage Mirana on their own lane, and have another mid to go with the IO. But at the same time, it probably is going to be the main combo with that Centaur Warrior.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, the last pick, I'm hoping for a super surprising one. Although I guess just Tiny, never a bad hero ready to combo up with an IO. I still like to see a Chaos Knight, although I guess Chaos Knight up against Razor in a sense that you throw out your Chaos Bolt, Reality Rift, all of them will invoke the Unstable Current. But he actually went out a Kanka as the last one. Of course, Kanka, Shadow Demon, excellent combination.
Yeah, the ticket game banned out on the other side, although I would say that, Tinker wouldn't be a terrible pickup in this lineup right now, as the rest of HEHE, they don't really need that much farm. And one of the few things that you have to do when you pick up a Tinker is effectively, no matter what heroes you pick up, it turns into 4 Protect 1 just because of how much farm that Tinker removes from the map. So, the Tinker would work pretty well in that lineup, as we are waiting for this last pickup. And like we said, something weird. Spirit Breaker.
Oh, well, that would be weird indeed. Although, I mean,
literally the least picked up hero in the game.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad, but I guess when you are kind of useless in most cases, then you won't get picked. But for HEHE now, they have about 30 seconds left in their reserve time. Guess Chaos Knight, Tiny, possibly a Gyrocopter every now and then has been ran with an IO as well. So we'll see if they will go for any of the more popular ones, or if they are reinventing or inventing something new.
Meepo IO combo. It wouldn't be terrible.
Well, it wouldn't be terrible, but it would. Well, Wraith King, I guess if it's a core Wraith King now, and they are actually running the Skyref Mage mid, the IO does just help the Wraith King a lot, since his biggest weakness is actually his mobility, but Tether will completely just counter, or not counter it, but just remove it.
Also, interesting enough, you could also theoretically just be seeing this Mirana carry coming out, as we have seen some pretty hard Mirana carries, if you put your mind to it.
I mean, Mirana definitely is a hero that can carry. Doesn't maybe get to that active stage that early on, since he actually needs a couple of core items before she really starts hurting, but just the skill set of her still allows her to be extremely aggressive early on and set up kills.
Yeah, as we're basically right now seeing the 4 support strategy coming out, which is, the pro version of the 4 carry lineup we see in pubs.
Yeah, it's actually pretty true at the moment, so well, we will see how well it actually works out for them as well. I mean, for HEHE, I think definitely the name of the game should be early aggression, because I don't think with that lineup that they got, they really want to take this too late.
No, as in, I will say that with a Razor coming out, especially with the Nation's Prophet also being able to split push, he will have issues in the late game. Obviously, with a farmed up Mirana and a Wraith King, they can stop that. And, the Scarlet Mage is actually a very nice counter through that mid and late game to a Brewmaster, just simply because his silence lasts for so long and he can do so much magic damage that just isn't removed by his evasions. As in, it's, I think, a 5-second silence on the Scarlet Mage, as we are going to see the Sand King picked up. And that's going to prevent a very nice tri lane, and even be able to set up that early game stun with that Shadow Demon.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. Just Sand King's, the Burrow Strike range is god horrible on the first level, so Shadow Demon with the disruption should be able to buy enough time for the Sand King to actually get close if they are going for the ganks. As well as now, Team Ghost, I highly doubt that they will go for an aggressive tri lane with this. So, might be either Brewmaster or Razor farming safe lane. Other one in the mid lane, doesn't really matter too much which one goes where. Nature Prophet offlane, Sand King just stacking up and farming the jungle.
Yeah, as in, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Razor go mid, just because of how bad the matchup is with the Scarlet Mage, who probably is going to be going mid himself. As in, you could theoretically have the Mirana go mid, and the Scarlet Mage jump into that support role.
Well, I mean, Fire, he usually plays the support for HEHE. Of course, HEHE are a team that actually swap their roles quite often. just from support to offlaner to carry in the safe lane and whatnot. But we will see how they go. And actually, if it is a Skyrim Mage versus Razor, it is actually a pretty good or decent enough matchup for Razor, just because the unstable current is a pain in the ass for Skyrim to deal with.
I actually think looking at the items coming out from HEHE, they're going to be doing a dual mid with this Wraith King and Io, because if we have a quick look at Fire and Mirana, both of them brought wards.
Yeah, it's... wow. Well, it's a little bit weird, but maybe... I mean, if they can get the early aggression to work anyhow, they will be completely fine. And Razor, he's not the tankiest of heroes. And if he's up against a Brewmaster mid lane, then, well, any dual lane will just have a better time. And yeah, kill the tree. But I guess to introduce the lineup to you guys as well, for HEHE, Hava, HWA will be playing up on the center with Fire to play the Skyrim Mage, leaving Chips Cyan on the Mirana, Techno Roshan playing the Wraith King, and the last one is Nihis on the IO.
In the meanwhile, on the opposite side, we do have Team Coast, probably slightly the favourites in this matchup. We've got Solan playing on that Nature's Prophet, 8 Mother on the Brewmaster, Handshaken on the Sand King, Seal Kid on the Shadow Demon, and ES Skills on the Razor.
Yeah, so it will be Razor mid lane. Not overly surprising, as actually Nihis at the moment. Oh man, they're doing it again. Mid lane IO, and they're actually leaving behind an aggressive tri-lane by the looks of it. Mirana maybe trying to fish for arrows in the mid lane as well, but this HEHE, man, that they love this. And if it works out, you can snowball so heavily with IO being high level. Actually, the Wisp Spirits do a crazy amount of damage as well.
Yeah, this is interesting. As in, I will say that the IO, it can work, like you said, snowballing out of control, getting that fast level 6. It's also pretty difficult to get that static link for huge periods of time on, just because of how fast that tethered makes you, as in 345 movement speed, even without his boots.
Yeah, it's definitely not too bad, although if he actually starts taking some right clicks and has some damage stolen at the same time, oh man, it's gonna hurt so much, because IO's base armor is 0, which just doesn't block any physical damage, but he should be fine as long as he just gets a reasonably timed bottle.
Yep, and the tri-lane versus tri-lane is going to be a bit interesting, although I feel this Brewmaster is going to have a nicer time of it. I almost feel like they expected the Razor to be here, as they can't really kill this Brewmaster, not without a huge misplay coming out from Coast.
Yeah, the thing is though that if they're patient enough with the initiation, maybe start with a stun Techno Roshan, get the Rayfire Blast. And if they can kind of bait out Seal Kid's defensive disruption and then follow the arrow up with that, they might get the kill. But if Coast don't panic, I mean, the Brewmaster should be tanky enough, unless of course the initiation happened right then and now when the supports aren't anywhere close and he's so far away from his tower. But he should be fine. I mean, he's playing it safe enough.
Yep, and we are going to see that all three lanes, even with two aggressive tri-lanes going up against each other, have gone very, very defensive. Some pulling going on, just getting rid of the creep wave. As they did actually get...
Yes, Solan wants to go for the courier, but nice micro from Hava. So far, the Treants trying to chase him down as well. They need to buy 1 minute worth of time, but E-Skills mid lane, he's doing so much harassment. A few more right clicks he can follow up at the moment. As the courier... Oh man, Treants, are they actually going to get it? Run, courier, no! Oh my god. Treant micro.
Yeah, the cute little horse, default horsey in fact, going down. How long has it been since you've seen one of those in a pro game?
Oh man, it happens rarely, extremely rarely, but it does every now and then. But man, it's a huge pickup, because suddenly Nihis, he won't get his bottle anymore for the mid lane on the IO. That's actually a huge setback, plus of course some pretty nice gold going in the way of Coast.
Yeah, but that's always a positive right there, and we are going to be seeing the Centaur Warrior probably mostly equal to this Nature's Prophet in terms of both of them should get the farm they need, ignoring Courier Snipes.
Yeah, and bottom lane, oh, first blood, it went to Fire. They might get chips in return. 8 Mother, one more right click. Yes, they kill the Mirana, but first blood for HEHE. They definitely get the advantage that way. And Sand King, he was just going completely out of position. Underestimated, I guess, what HEHE can do, but Seal Kid can get the disruption. Doesn't have boots. Arrow will not hit anyway, or at least not any heroes, so 1 for 1 on this bottom lane. No clear advantage to either side, since usually in a tri-lane you want an XP advantage, but Seal Kid, they want to go again, disruption, yes, they get it as well. Handscan should be able to follow up with the Burrow Strike, it does connect, will it be enough? Well, Thunderclap, a few right clicks, now the leap. Oh, it's still not enough, man. And Techno Roshan is gonna go down as well. A few more right clicks, Shadow Poison. No, they have to turn around. Very paralyzed Ape Mother. He's under the tower. Will the tower be enough? A few more right clicks. He is tanky. He magic sticks up, but they do get that 1 kill advantage.
Yeah, 1 kill advantage right there, and even cancelling the salve on the Wraith King as, you know, those annoying creeps come out. He's going to be able to get all this experience from mostly solo experience behind this tier 1 tower, but at the same time, very nice pick off there coming out from Coast.
Yeah, I mean, they were so close to actually getting another kill. For a second I thought Chip's Iron is safe when the leap came out, but Shadow Poison brought him down, which actually is level 2 as well. Doesn't even bother with the Soul Catcher at all.
Now, I will say one annoying thing we're going to be seeing coming out here on this top, offlane versus offlane situation is that the Treants are going to be able to keep cancelling the Tranquil Boots of the Centaur Warrunner, which is going to be super annoying, as that's, you know, basically his strategy as a hero. You get that fast Tranquil Boots, and just every time you get harassed, you sit back and regen up all your health.
Yeah, it's definitely not working out too well for him. Mid lane Arrow, not gonna hit E-skills, just backs off at the same time anyway to get his bottle. But they might get the kill on Soul, and he's slowed down. The Arcane Bolts are flying high. He needs the double H. One more right click fire. Will it be enough? The Magic Stick. And Magic Sticks to the rescue, but the last Arcane Bolt will finish the job.
Yep, and that is, we do see that Cent might be in a bit of trouble, but he does have his ultimate. He's going to pop that to make sure he gets out of there.
Oh, Plasma Field E-skills. He's actually pretty damn close. He's gonna get fired for sure. Concussion shot came out, but man, the Treants, even the creep wave chasing them, so... Actually, Solan, he got the kill with the Treants.
In the meanwhile, it looks like they might want to go for these two supports who might be a little bit out of position. The Nature's Prophet coming in. Can he get Sprout off? No, he can't. He does manage to trap the Marauder a little bit accidentally right there. And Chip Hagen going to be in super amounts of trouble. The stun's going to come out, get the triple stun. And this might be 3 kills right now here, including the mid. And that's absolutely huge for Coast right there, going 6-2 up, and everything just went wrong right there for HEHE.
Yeah, I mean... Actually thought the IO came in, kept the Mirana alive for a little while, but boy did that backfire. Just perfectly setting up at that Burrow Strike, which was only level 1. If you manage to catch 3 heroes with a level 1 Burrow Strike, something must be wrong with the positioning of the enemy.
Yeah, because obviously it's very, very small range at that low level. Only 350, which... it might not sound a lot compared
to... Bottom lane, Relocate Gang comes in, he's alone, but it might be enough. The Wisp balls are coming in, but they're actually going for the turnaround. Oh, the defensive disruption actually, or another, it went on to Nihis to get 1 counter kill. Solan, a few right clicks once again. He might go down in return, Techno Roshan, he gets the crits, but he can't follow up anymore. So in the end, Relocate Gang ended up just going in the favor of Coast once again.
Yeah, and that's... we are just seeing these terrible trades going out for HEHE, and it's... you know, they're slowly losing control of this early game, and that's not what you want with their lineup. Their lineup does need a good early game to go up against what the Coast are bringing to the table.
Oh wow, this is backfiring so much for HEHE. I mean, just the triple kill that happened near the ruin here before, that was just so crippling, and now going for the first Relocate Gank and having that backfire as well. They did of course manage to kill the Brewmaster, but Brewmaster is still gonna hit level 6 within 1 creep. Yeah, he has it now. Actually, he's 2 levels above Wraith King. If he gets close enough for a Thunderclap, he might set up a kill with just Thunderclap Primal Split.
Yep, and we do see even draining on that mana. The Razor is starting to be fast enough to be annoying. He looks like he went for a max static link, a max plasma field, and only 1 level in a stable current, but it is fast enough to be able to drain all that damage from a bootsless IO.
Yeah, I mean, he's went for the Urn first, so that just shows how aggressive they want to be in theory. Just, if you go for an Urn, you expect to get kills. Actually, they might as well if they get close enough. The Concussion Shot comes out, they get the slows, the silence is there as well to boost, to amplify the damage. And actually, the Wisp Spirits, will they connect? Yes, they will know. The defensive disruption, are you kidding me? Knees. 1 more tower hit, he's gonna get E-skills, but can he escape? He's trying to bottle up, but Shadow Poison from Seal Kid. Urn as well, but Hanscan, he comes in, Relocate. Well, he attempted it, but once again, Relocate just on cooldown now.
Yeah, just... you know, the Relocate getting wasted right there. And that's going to be another 80 seconds without a gank, and that's a pretty big cooldown to be throwing down this early in the game, as we are seeing the Observer Ward is going to get dewarded right then.
Yeah, I mean, just Coast, almost everything is going their way at the moment. And even if they get the kills, it was a trade once again since Razor just got far enough. And I actually think Nihis' first Wisp Spirits, they expired during them trying to initiate there. So he had to get new ones off and start the recalibration of the distance of it. So Just some extra time. Had the first ones actually connected properly. Oh, they get another slow onto E-skills. Can they actually follow up? The tether movement speed is all good and well, but no, just negative burn. Actually, with spirits, they possibly can go with spirits. Come off cooldown as well. A few more arcane bolts. No, they're not gonna go, and well, he's just gonna be able to pull up a haste rune now.
Yeah, getting the haste rune, always a nice thing. But at the same time, things just aren't going well right now for HEHE. If we have a quick look at the golden experience, the experience is around about 2,000 in favor of Coast, while the gold, in fact, a pretty significant difference right there at 4,000 only 9 minutes into the game. And that's actually pretty big considering the fact that there's been no towers taken down so far.
Yeah, and if towers start falling, I'm expecting it to be in Coast's favor as well, them having a Nature's Prophet after all, who actually face boots into almost straight off. Necrobook, by the looks of it, already has the Staff of Wizardry and the Belt of Strength.
Yep. We are seeing currently as last hits and general farm goes, the current highest farmer is that Nature's Prophet is having a pretty good time here against this Scent. He's just sat there farming, slowly rotating to the jungle and just using that advantage that Nature's Prophet gives you. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to go for a very fast Necro. It looks like Coast are going to be the ones who want to force the issue pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the Ape Mother has his Blink Dagger as well now, so they should be able to just quite easily take fights at the moment, every time Primal Split is actually off cooldown. Sand King though doesn't have his Blink Dagger yet, and won't be the fastest one either, unless they start getting some more kills. But I mean, it's been a rather active early game as it is anyway, so Sand King just didn't really have the free time to stack up the jungle and farm it.
Yep, the Sentinel will be picking up his Blink Dagger pretty soon, as he only needs a few more creeps, and this creep wave should be enough. Just nuking that down. Just needs a few more ticks of gold.
Yeah, he's gonna get it by the time he just runs home to regen up anyway, so with his Stampede and Blink, they can definitely set something up, and actually he has his Relocate as well, so they can potentially even relocate Blink Gank at the moment. Although, who could they go upon here?
Well, they don't really have enough vision of the opposing team right now to know who they cut as. And there is this Brewmaster, but he's got his ultimate, and there's two supports kind of hiding in the jungle just in case that initiation happens. We do see TPs though. Are they going to be trying to go for a gank or a smoke? We see the smoke coming out. Earthshaker.
Wow, the defensive disruption actually saves him for the time being. He gets the Primal Split off. Nice stun onto Hal as well. E-skills, he joins the fight. Demonic Perch onto the center Warrunner. He's on the run, the relocate actually. No, they put the Shadow Poison Timer instead. Fire. He might be in some trouble. No, they relocate themselves to save to protect Neurotion. He's gonna get sprouted up. He doesn't have enough mana. He has the magic one, but he doesn't get to pop it thanks to the Burrow Strike of Seal Kid, or Handscan rather. So, two heroes down, although HEHE were the ones to initiate.
Yeah, what we just saw right there is we see Wisp is going to go down as soon as he pops back up. Or, in fact, Wisp took out the Sand King right there. Very nice job. Does eventually end up going down, though. But what we just really saw there was that they saw the Brewmaster, but they had no vision of the rest of the map, meaning they had no idea that the rest of the supports were just sitting there and waiting for that initiation. And
yeah, I mean, just all of it pretty much was set up by the Shadow Demon, getting the defensive disruption. Otherwise, the Mystic Flare would have just completely demolished the Brewmaster.
Yeah, very nice fast reactions, and definitely paying off right there. They're not going to try and push down this tier 1 towers. They don't quite have the Necro books available for another 40 seconds.
Yeah, and actually E-skills now finishes up his mech as well, so next time around in the fight they're even going to have the burst heal, which can't really be set for HEHE. They do have the tether into bottle of IO, of course, so that can help out to some extent, but IO himself, he is more than, well, I guess he's halfway through his mech, so not that far, but considering he was also mid lane farm, he's definitely not at the point where he would usually like to be.
He attempting blind ganks right there, almost getting that stomp off. I think if he'd got the stomp off, that'd been a very, very dead Nature's Prophet. But it wasn't to be.
Yeah, and actually those treants are being rather annoying. I mean, even just disabling the Blink Dagger possibly at the moment. So, oh, are we see? Yes, Soul, and they want to go for the Techno Blink, Thunderclap, Necro level 1 is out as well. They get the mana burn, no reincarnation. Actually, he has enough magic one star, just another Sprout to just block him in. Can they actually get the kill Ape Mother? A few more right clicks, they should have it. Yes, reincarnation popped, but they can easily back off. I mean, 260-second cooldown, always worth it.
Yeah, but we do see that Wraith can even get that Necrobook gold, but at the same time, like we said, at level 1, that ultimate is worth its weight in gold, as 245 seconds is a lot of seconds.
Yeah, and actually, Seal Kid, he went down, but I didn't even expect him to have a dominating streak. So, Chips on the Mirror, I got 522 gold for it. A nice setup there, they just got Concussive Shot into Arrow to land. but man, Coast, they get the tower. Might be a tower trade though, but I just think Coast, they are looking so damn good at this point in time. I'm not too sure HEHE. They can still crank up the aggression and hope for some kills, but Sanking even has a Blink Dagger now.
Yeah, and having a 13-minute Sanking Blink Dagger when you haven't really had that much space in the jungle is very good job by him. The arrow is going to come out almost barely missing the Sanking right there, but Handshaken is going to be perfectly fine. But Wisp looking for more damage. He's, not quite sure what happened there, as they just kind of walked past each other.
He had an Invis rune, which is almost impossible to spot out when he said, oh, but the Burrow Strike onto Nihi's demonic burst to follow up as well. He already uses Tether, so can't really escape anymore. And yeah, he had actually an Invis rune, and it's impossible to know or see when an IO has Invis when you don't click on him, because it's just the way he looks.
That would make a little bit more sense than what seemed to happen there.
But man, just once again, Coast, they get the pick off here at the moment. Necro level 2 finished up on Solan as well, and the Nature's Prophet. And they still have Primal Split. Ape Mother has plenty of mana to actually go Thunderclap and Primal Split both. And this could be another tier 1 tower, and they were actually unable to finish up their own here. So they lost IO, they lost the tier 1 tower top, they're gonna lose this tier 1 as well. They just aren't getting any trades that are worthwhile.
Yeah, we do see Mirana is going to be able to get out of there with that haste. Sanking kind of looking for the damage, and he is going to have to be super careful. Not going to get the stun off though, but just being annoying and harassing him back. The smoke is going to come out, and it looks like we want to go for a mid gank right now.
Yeah, the tower is pretty low as well. Actually, arrow will land into Hansken. So the pinks come out. Chipsan, at least HEHE, they should know that something is there.
Yeah, they just couldn't go for this tier 1 tower now. As in, there's nothing they can do with these Necrobook units, just beating on it. And that's going to be the last tier 1 going down for HEHE, and Coast are just extending their lead as they haven't lost a single tower yet. And if we have a quick look at that gold, it's starting to shoot in their favor, with around about 8,000 net worth, and they're only 15 minutes in.
Yeah, it's actually pretty damn sick at the moment how far ahead they are, just getting to the next level of items. And Nihis, how far is he from his mech? Oh, actually he has his mech finished, so that's actually a pretty good amount of heal coming out, because Tether mech is a sick combination, suddenly 500 health to the target he's tethered to. So they can try to keep themselves alive, but I'm not really too sure how much damage they themselves can do. Yes, of course, Mystic Flare, all good and well, but I feel like they need to get the Shadow Demon down before, or just get the ganks when the Shadow Demon isn't in position for the defensive disruptions.
Yep, and we are going to see, like, right now, I'm not quite sure what HEHE can do per se, because the issue is that their lineup, especially with the IO, requires a lot of map control, and they're just losing it with every single tier 1 tower that goes down.
Yeah, I just completely 100% agree with you there, and they don't even have any proper vision going for themselves, and mid lane is in some trouble. Burrow Strike first, so they should have the follow-up Ape Mother, Blink Dagger. Is it disabled? Yes it is, but Demonic Purge, man, there's no escaping, nobody to tether to. Chipsign tried to come in with a smoke, but there is a smoke still. Hava together with Fire, they're gonna catch Solan. I think this should be a kill. Yes, Hoofstone to stop the TP, Mystic Flare on top of his head. And this is an easy kill, but they can still lose tier 2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, they don't really need the Nature's Prophet per se. He's always helpful, especially with that Necrobook and the Treants, but with the amount of damage that Razor's doing per, click, even without the, as the arrow is going to come out, Ape Mother does take it to the face, but there's no real follow-up coming out from HEHE.
Yeah, it's just... Oh! The Burrow Strike does connect, but the Thunderclap was off target from Ape Mother. The slow on to E skills, but when they have the mech, they get the tower, and there was nothing at all he could do, man. You would think in a normal game that you kill off Nature's Prophet, you kind of stop the push, or at least make it so that you can fight when the enemy is pushing or something, but no, not happening.
We see that the Razor kind of realizes where he must have blinked to, but we do see the Sentinels manage to get out of there, and this tier 1 still isn't down. In fact, we see the other tier 1s, which are even more a little bit shocking, is the fact that these other tier 1s have taken very little damage. This top and middle one are practically unharmed.
Oh yeah, it's just goes to show HEHE. It's always a risk if you run an aggressive lineup like this, especially going for an aggressive tri-lane as well. And if an aggressive tri-lane backfires, it's actually really hard to stage a comeback of any sort there, because you lose so much momentum in a game then.
Yep, and even more a difficult issue is that, remember, this is a best of one, as in, this is, all or nothing right now in this playoffs. If HEHE don't win this, then they are required for Mind Sanity to win their game against Coast, and then they have to beat Mind Sanity. So Hoofstomp comes down, Initiation comes in, Sand King takes a bunch of damage, but not quite enough. And Disruption's going to come out and save him. And I'm not quite sure what else they can do. Dust is going to come out, and everyone just using their skills, but at the same time, this is going against HEHE right now. Razor very, very low. Desperate trying to get out of there. The arrow is going to come out, not going to hit anyone, and this is probably going to be another kill for the Wraith King. He does have his ultimate up, but there's so many stuns here that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they might get a few counters, get on Roshan. He's going for the E skills, a few more right clicks, that's what he needs. Actually, Blade Mail, they got 2 counter kills, but now HEHE, he might be in some trouble in return. He's going to get sprouted up, Ape Mother. Do they have enough? Hanscan is hanging around as well. He gets the Burrow Strike, Hooftop, it's still on cooldown, so HEHE, yeah, he goes down in the end, a 5-4-2. And the initiation, he actually got a pretty nice one, double Hoofstomp, but just defensive disruptions as well as the mech helping them stay alive, just making a difference.
Yeah, and they've just got so much survivability right now on this coast side. As if we have a look at most of the heroes, especially the Razor and the Brewmaster, the important ones, they're pretty tanky, they're pretty hard to kill. Throw in the evasive capabilities with the Sand King and the Shadow Demon, sprinkle a little bit of mech on top, and you've got yourself a nice cake.
Yeah, and actually, Hanscan on the Sand King, he even went for power threats to tank up potentially a little bit more. Usually, an item you almost never see on Sand Kings, but what do you actually think of him going power threats here? Is it just purely to tank up?
Well, I guess, yeah, obviously it's the reason why he's picked it up is that little bit of extra survivability, but, you know, he doesn't need Marley Boots that much in this game only. As we see, the Brewmaster's picked set up, the Shadow Demon's got a set of his own, and it means there's going to be plenty of mana flowing around this team anyway.
Yeah, that's true enough, and well, at the moment for HEHE, what the hell can they actually do? Technoroshan, he's at least level 11 now, but the last time he died, it was still level 10, so Reincarnation had a 260-second cooldown. He does have the Blade Mail, and we actually saw it doing some, or a reasonable amount of counter damage in the last fight, but what the hell can they do? I mean, trying to set up ganks, yes, but they need vision for that, and for that, they need to go aggressively into the enemy jungle, and if they do that, they might just pay for for it with their lives.
Yeah, I just feel right now that with the huge advantage that Coast have, along with their lineup, HEHE require Coast to make a mistake.
Yeah, actually, he was trying to farm up Ancients, but it's like a penta stack almost, I want to say. So, even the Centaur wasn't tanky enough. Return is level 3, but doesn't really have the most strength at the moment to go around with. Maybe if Nihis was there to heal him up at the same time. But top lane, Solen, tipping in as well. They have Necro level 3, so Technoroshan actually has to be careful to not get mana drained here. He is always keeping his magic wand at almost full charges, but look at this tower melt.
Well, yeah, that's what you have with a Nature's Prophet with a Necrobuck. Throwing the amount of support they have, and there's very little HEHE can do with these pushes. They might be able to defend high ground, but even that's going to be difficult.
Actually, Stampede comes out. HEHE, he did get back to safety as Hanscan. Well, his epicenter completely whiffed. Solen, 4 step forward, they don't find the right hero, but Stampede on cooldown. And Coast, do they go for Roshan from this, or I mean, all the outer towers have already been destroyed by them.
Yeah, at this point, it's either Roche or tier 3s. No reason to sit back and wait, as, you know, you don't want to give the opposing team that chance to come back.
Yeah, you definitely don't. I mean, if you're ahead, get farther ahead. That is the general consensus that teams have just realized. So, they're most likely going to do it at the moment, and looks like they want to go. They have some treants already. It might be a little bit risky, but I mean, Stampede on cooldown, and HEHE, it's not like they have the scariest of AoE.
Yeah, just go steal some of these, you know, Ancients have been stacked very nicely by this HEHE side. We do actually know that they do know it's going on. They do know that this attempted resource steal is in current effect. But can they do anything about it with that Stampede down, like what he said?
Oh man, this this is huge. It is, I think, a 5-stack. Or at least used to be. Some of them got killed off before, but it is a crap ton of gold suddenly going in the favor of Coast, and I mean, it's just so demoralizing already if your camp gets stolen like this.
Yeah, you can just see the taste the tears of support players everywhere. As that is going to be a very, and they're even leaving one behind to keep blocking this camp.
Oh, he actually dodged the Burrow Strike with the tether. So damn close, man. I would have been 100% just cannon fodder there right now, but he does make it out, and with this, they actually have a chance to defend high ground, but Solan, he has his Necro level 3 ready. Roshan is getting pinged out, and I really don't see a reason why not to. I mean, Razor even has a double damage room bottled up.
Now, it is worth noting this is going to be a pretty slow-ish Razor coming out here. They don't really have that much minus armor, if any at all. But either way, they're just going to have enough creeps to be able to tank this up that it isn't going to matter.
Yeah, Necro level 3 just boosts up the attack speed as well a little bit, so... And these skills had a double damage rune, so it was just fast enough at the moment. But in the backlines, Dust popped once again. They have sentries as well. They wanted to make 100% sure. Oh, Burrowstrike onto cheap side, but the counter, they get the Hoofstorm Stampede. But it's purely a defensive one, more or less, and Stampede will once again just be on cooldown.
And that's going to be a Roshan, all the outside tier 3 towers, and not a single tier 1 tower has gone down for Coast right now, and right now, they've got to make an amazing defense to this tier 3 tower. Either that or, you know, some bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Coast just start pushing out every single lane, solo lane on one, the rest on the others, and when the Necro level 3 comes off cooldown, then just go for the high ground. Hanscan is a little bit low on mana. I completely would have expected. Oh, actually, relocate gank. They get the stun out to Solan as well. Relocate comes in, but TPs, will it be enough? No, Solan, I think he's going to go down for sure, but can they get the counters? Oh, the triple burrow strike. Are you kidding me? They keep Solan actually alive. The mech comes through. Triple thunderclap from Ape Mother as well. It's a massacre at the moment. I mean, IO is down. No relocate back. They get the reincarnation. And, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a GG isn't too far away from now.
Yeah, it was a good idea, but the TP being... that's what happens when you got all these tier 1s around, but the support from your team is just so fast that it's so hard to do this. But like what I said before, you need map control to make this IO work, and they just haven't been able to get that at any point in this game.
I mean, all the tier 1 towers still standing. Actually, Burrow Strike, Hanscan, he's going man mode onto Mirana. Is Solan coming? Actually, the arrow lands. Well, that was a little bit too ballsy, and actually Chips gets the leap out as well. Oh, some old chat banter also to follow up.
But either way, you know, a nice, you know, a silver lining, so to say, after that terrible moment for HEHE, but at the same time, it just isn't going to be enough. We do see Nature Prophet is going to be a little bit careful against this Scarif Mage. 4-staff himself forwards. Going to be more than safe, though, as in fact, we see Nature's Prophet going for a 4-staff rather than a Blink Dagger, although he's currently got 5k gold. I've just realised he's got 5k gold. What's he going to do with it?
Oh, wow. Man, I wouldn't mind a Desolator, to be honest, or AC, possibly. Don't think he's going for either one, but...
Yeah, but he's picked up a Hyperstone.
Oh, so I guess... Mjolnir, I guess, must be it. Is the most common one on Nature Prophets. Oh, no, it's AC after all, so... Just speed up the push, tank yourself up a little bit. It's not like he have the craziest amount of physical damage. I mean, Wraith King really the only source of it properly. But it's good enough.
Yep, it does work against those creeps and those towers, meaning it makes you know, pushing down these tier 3s a lot faster than it normally would be.
Yeah, it definitely will, and wow. Even a Skyrock may Stampede. Can they actually catch somebody? No, it's a defensive one once again. The reincarnation on cooldown, but the double Hoofstomp Seek, he's gonna go down. Can he get the disruption off? No, he's silenced up. He will go down by fire. He is stunned by the Prime Split. The Boulder Toss Epicenter comes through. They get the kill onto Mirana, so the two supports are down. Can they get some cores as well? Knees might be in trouble. Boulder Toss, E-skills, Eye of the Storm is activated. One more right click, tether. Nope, Plasma Field comes through. They get the kill. Keep sign, he bought back. Burrow Strike up onto Techno Roshan. Still reincarnation on cooldown. The stun onto Hanscan. He's under the towers or easy. Arrow not gonna connect X, so a nice 4-step. I think he should be safe at the moment. And Burrow Strike to the low ground. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, if he's going for a strike right there. But there is Chase still coming out, but the Blink Dagger's just blinking away, and Sed's not going to be able to pick that up. And the tier 3 tower is going to go down. The Rack soon to follow. And it looks like Razor wants more kills. Just draining all that damage.
Yeah, and actually he doesn't have vision of them anymore since the Necrobooks were a little bit too far behind. But now, Mystic Flare, they get E-skills, but there was an Aegis, and GG is called anyway, man. Coast, they just took this game by storm, more or less. They had a chance, but for that, they needed to get a better start.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame right there. The GG's getting cold, and that is going to be 1-0 for a Coast. Obviously, there was only a best of 1, and that gives Coast a very good opportunity to somehow make it to that 4th place if they can beat My Insanity.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard for HEHE to get that 4th position at the moment, since, like you said during the game as well, for that, My Insanity needs to win versus Coast, and HEHE needs to win versus My Insanity. And even then, I think it's gonna be just the time brackets or whatnot, and since this was a 27-minute game, which actually is a rather short one, to be honest, even that isn't speaking in their favor anymore.
Yep, it's gonna be very, very difficult. And we just saw Coast Like we said, they took advantage of the early game. They had some very nice ganks and counter ganks, and that's really what set things up. I really feel it was that initial triple kill that took out that IO as well in that early game near the bottom rune.
Yeah, it was so crippling. I mean, before that, the supports, of course, they were so low leveled, didn't have too much gold, but a triple kill definitely helps you just get that much closer to the next items, get the faster blink there on Sand King. But guys, this is gonna be it now since it was only a best of one. HeflaTV 2 is still casting some South American Dota at the moment for Dota Regions Tournament, Cup, however you want to call it. So you can definitely check that out. But for us, it's gonna be it for the day. We'll probably be back tomorrow with something. But yeah, for now, HeflaTV 2 is the place to go. And of course, Benji, thanks for just coming to cast with me. And where can people find you?
Well, I can be found on both Twitch TV and Twitter with the name @Benji.
So guys, there you have it. It's also in the title of Twitch if you have no idea how to just write it, or, well, in any case guys, once again, gratitude for coming and hope to see you another time.